The way we could catch up was to do something different. We couldn't grow organically, and we said we'll use technology to the best of our ability. Everything we did was just revolving around building this great product. Then we created what is called the wallet today. Open this account, the phone number is your account number.
That was actually when
we were doing that 25 years ago. You can buy airtime, transfer money to anybody.
You were taking people out of the traditional ways of going into the banking hall.
It was the beginning of cashless.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. This is the Made in Payments, the Mavericks edition, and sitting with me today is just someone who I respect and I love so much. He's been at the forefront of a lot of innovation that has happened in Nigeria, and I dare say Africa, because he is in the middle of many firsts. Now, before I introduce him and get him to say his story, all of you are familiar with Star 737. There was a person behind it. You're familiar, for those who were in banking in the early 2000s, you're familiar with Flash Me Cash. There was someone behind it. Now, it's important to hear him, hear his story, just hear everything that went on in his intelligent brain as he builds these solutions. With me is no other than Mr. Deji Oguntonade. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us today. Thank you for sparing time out of your busy schedule to come speak to us. We're very glad to have you, and we can't wait to hear from you. Just so we kick things off, it will be just nice to hear a bit about Deji. I remember the first day I met you, you had just come back to GTBank then, and everyone was like, Deji's back, and he was like this maverick was back, who had created so many things, and over the years you've just been that amazing quiet leader who does things behind the scenes but builds amazing things. So can we just hear your story? There are going to be a lot of things we will talk about, so I'll just leave it to you, please.
Okay, thank you, Nkebet, for the eloquent introduction. Making me blush already. My name is Deji Oguntonade, and I'll say I'm a simple guy who loves things being done well and who loves solving problems. I think that's what's gotten me to all the strong. Thank you.
So, how did it start? I don't want to believe you started, because the first products that you built that was used nationwide was Flash Me Cash.
Yes.
We in the first season we spoke to Edu, we spoke to Titi. They all in their interview mentioned Flash Me Cash, and I was smiling to myself because I said we're going to talk to the Flash Me Cash lead himself. But I know before Flash Me Cash there were other things. So can you just tell us your story of how you started, even get to innovating your products? What did you read? How did you even get into it? And what went on in your brain as you started to build things? Because then when you started Flash Me Cash, there was nothing. There was nothing to even start from. So what was that journey and what was that? How was it?
Okay, and let's rewind so many years back, and I call it a few years back. I've always been someone who's been kind of creative, trying to always do things differently. In fact, I consciously try to do things differently. If everybody's wearing blue, make sure I wear blue and red or something, just to make sure it's different. And in a creative manner, to show people that things can be done in different way, and things can also be done in a better way. So I say all my life I've been doing things in that way. I'll go forward a bit. So when I was 10 years old, I was introduced to computers for the first time. A lot of people didn't know about that thing. It'll be 20 years later. But Marco quite just come back from his master's degree in University of Guelph in Canada, came back and was a Commodore computer, and I just spent time over the holidays. So I taught myself how to program using the basic program, Microsoft Basic program, and those are the kind of computers that you connect to a tape recorder and you also connect to a TV, and that's how it worked. So it was just a keyboard with a CPU connected to the tape recorder to record on the cassette tape. That's where you record your data and read your data from, and then connect to a TV. So I taught myself simple computing that from that period, and then creating little programs that you could create different things. And at that time, Then I'll say about a few years later, I went forward. I bought myself my first computer, which is X81. I don't know some old.
Never heard about
Some old,
Commodore
old
S62. I'm just looking at you.
some old people will be thinking, okay, yeah, it's an X81, but that's another wonderful computer again, and made by Sinclair. And again, I progressed with my love for computers and doing things with computers and all that. So fast forward a bit to university time. I studied chemical engineering and in University of Lagos. Although I never practiced chemical engineering, but yeah, that one I studied. And again, I mean, everything I did, I tried to just relate it back to computer.
Yeah.
So you see that some of my assignments were done with the computer. I even helped some of my colleagues to do their projects using the computer to solve complex chemical reaction calculations. And also for maybe for the first time in the department, maybe I was the one that wrote and printed out my dissertation project using the computer, and I was able to type it. I would have put it up to type for the print out. So you see that most times I used to do things just differently and all that. So back, I still wanted to practice chemical engineering. So when I was serving in Sokoto State, I wanted to see how I could use my chemical engineering knowledge to create a small industry. I was quite intrigued by small scale industry and how it could help in development. And so I saw that as an opportunity to create something small scale in Ghana local government. Then and at that time, talked to local government chairman. I told him a lot of stories that how this will work, how this will work, government will not fund this, just do your service and go back home and all of that. And I would become his chanter, but okay, how does someone find money to do all these things? And that's what brought me to finance, looking for money. That's okay. And then I thought, let me expand my scope when I get back to to Lagos, not just thinking about chemical engineering or thinking about working in an oil company and all that. For me, I didn't really want to work about oil company. I felt from afar, I found it boring and not the kind of thing I would like to do. I just thought I would not be as creative enough than oil company, especially because most of them were multinationals. Anyone that was had much leeway in doing anything what they could do. I got my experience from my other colleagues who worked there. It was more like experimental, do this, do that, and everything. But
And that was not you at all.
that was me. So I gave myself a target. I printed out 100 CVs so that I would produce 100 CVs, and I'm sure I'll find something like that. And funny enough, my cousin, he's late now, Akimakide, he had a friend who said there was an opportunity to GTBank. At that time, that was 1991. GTBank had just started first branch of Plaza. That should go and drop my CV there. That they want to do banking. I said, I want to drop my CV everywhere and let's work out of it. So I dropped my CV and I said, I've put the Plaza. I'm sure I was in awe. One, because I'm a creative, and also I know good things when I see good things. And this wasn't my business to that. I'm sure everybody knows the Plaza. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Chandeliers,
Artwork,
architecture, artwork, the
piano.
pianos, the piano, then the security man, wearing white and all that. I said, this is back in Nigeria. So let's drop my CV. Fast forward, I was employed in GTBank, again training school. Spent a few months of training school. In the middle of my training school, I got a letter from the chairman to come for interview, and I did not go. My uncle was giving. How can you say you're not going for an interview?
Go to Chevron.
In Chevron. I said, I've seen something better than Chevron. He put it to my dad. I just wasted an opportunity. I told my dad, this is what I want to do. I want to follow through with this. And then that was my first time joining GTBank. My first stint at GTBank was about 7 years. 7 years.
I didn't know you spent that long.
Oh yes, I did. And operations, marketing, etc. I started from cash and teller, accounting cash, then to operations, and then went to Kedra about marketing, and I came back very briefly to IT, or I was sectionalized somewhere because there was a program at that time called Idea Hunt, which came out, and then that was, I think, it was the precursor to what you do as this month as annual retreat and all that, where we bring ideas, and I love that. So I won the first idea hunt, the very first idea hunt, and the idea was what I called then Pro payment electronic payment system, and it was a payment system where you use the internet to make payments for corporates
At that time.
at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was pulled out to pursue the idea. But I didn't stay long after that in GTBank. I went to Equatorial Trust Bank and then to Comic Merchant Bank, which was purchased by some ex-GTBank people, and then became First Atlantic Bank. So that was in 1999. 1999, First Atlantic Bank. Now, First Atlantic Bank was more like starting from scratch. I mean, a merchant bank has been purchased, that's more or less dead, and now we're going to build up a commercial bank. And with the ideas Mustafa Di Pedro, Rashida Leming, as between and Diaphragm Moti, and all that, all ex bank, and so they come and join us. So during the transition period, when all staff are being either exited or reorientated and all that, we started trying to see what the bank would be in the future. And the second was at index. That's one of the banks, customers, branches, and catch up. And the way we could catch up was to do something different and also to catch up using technology. We couldn't grow organically, just having a branch here, branch there, and all that. I mean, everybody is just so much in a hurry. And we said we'll use technology to the best of our ability and flock every technology we can find to make sure that we are among the top banks in a short period of time. And that's where the real journey started. So the first thing was, okay, what banking application are we going to use? We looked through all the existing ones, we just felt that it wasn't much up to par in terms of what are we seeing in the future. So we went to India, we came across the Infosys, which had the product called we feel like more, and also Bankaway, because the Italian banking products as well. So what first banks use was then Finacle
In Nigeria.
in India for 3 months as well, being trained before we came back to implement. And I implemented this wonderful software called Finacle. And at that time, the way they classify can go best in class. Yeah. And it's proven to be still best in class.
It has, because people are now migrating to
Everybody is coming onto Finacle. Like almost 70% of the banking industry is on Finacle.
Yes.
And they always came to us to ask, how's it going? How's it going? And so the first banks, UBAs and all that, they always came to ask us, how you finding Finacle? And well, I mean, let's say I was Finacle's number one salesman. Is one okay, wonderfully, you can see the things we're doing, and that's without flashback cash yet. Now, in Finacle, we also launched the first internet banking application in Nigeria using Bank Only. And I'm sure kind of daily at Nika.
Yes.
Yeah, speaking at Bank again.
And I didn't know.
So we're using Bank Only, internet banking, and all that. And again, First Atlantic Bank started to come.
That digital bank.
And a digital bank, eye-opener. But we didn't stop there. I was saying, okay, let's do e-commerce. Again, we launched the first online store.
And then nobody understood what an online.
But nobody understood. But I just came because these are capabilities, let's just do it and see. And we had such a very exciting team then. Me Toda, Edu joined us a bit later. I'll come to that story. Titi came on board, Kenny O'Connor, Temusa VC. I'll say we're all starting because everybody as they've got the separate ways of Cipru, yeah, they're best in class. It's everything really was just revolving around building this great products and great institution. So the next milestone, GSM was approved in Nigeria.
How was that?
2001, 2001, and they were supposed to launch in 2002.
Yes.
And they launched in 2002. So as all this buzz was going around about GSM and okay, yes, this is going to be a game changer for Nigeria. Thousands of Nigerians who own mobile phones.
I remember.
And all that. And also the NCC gave this ultimatum when they said that you guys within 3 months must have 100,000 subscribers. And we looked at that opportunity and said that's 100,000 subscribers. Okay. And then within a year, have 1 million subscribers, I think, yeah. Something like that. That was the mandate has given 100,000 subscribers.
That's the telcos now.
With the telcos. And we looked at it. I said that, what if this was the break we're looking for? That if people ride and piggyback on the telco growth, maybe we'll get to 20,000 customers.
Out of the 100,000.
Out of the 100,000. Or even out of the million. Because, I mean, back then, if they have 100,000 customers, were piggyback.
Absolutely.
Retail, like, but we're very piggyback. So it was actually time to look at this. Imagine either made up customers, three telcos at that time, or travels at that time. We just get 10% of that. You become a bit too. And I wrote an email to Mr. February that, okay, you have to look at this GSM companies closely and have to follow them in what they're doing and see how we can use their platform for buying it. And like some protection, okay, maybe the first three and in the first in first 3 months you got about 200,000 customers. Hopefully by the end of 1 or 2 years we'll be able to contribute about 100,000 customers in the back who just come over at a time. And limited banks meeting. This is a joke. Let's discuss. So I discussed with him, and I told him again, and some reason was very encouraging.
So he wrote on the memo, this is a joke.
Let's discuss how will this happen in a spell. Can't remember where it's in Suju, but let's discuss the how can this happen. And I explained to him again, and when he brought it to it, was very supportive, has always been all that supportive. And we approached the telcos. We set up to partner with telcos. First of all, let's sell the airtime. So we built an airtime vending product or platform that use the phone. So we had a Sergeant phone which we plugged to a modem, very crude stuff. We plugged the phone to a modem in data center, and then we had to use copper called a fair.
For the disease, Sergeant phone was one phone that, in fact, what I remember about Sergeant was the screen was yellow.
Yes, orange.
Orange, and it was black, and it was just
was either grey or black, depending.
And it was just such an ugly phone. Well, at the time it was all we knew, but in retrospect, that phone was ugly.
No, it was not okay even then. Well, it was one of the best phones you could use to do what we were doing. That is a pass data through the frame modems and all that stuff to the telcos. So I started the airtime and we're doing wonderfully well. In fact, with that, I said, okay, we can become a profit center. I would become a profit center.
Interesting, just by vending.
Yeah, but vending the airtime.
Because people no longer had to. So people who had First Atlantic, was it only for First Atlantic bank holders?
Yes, at that time. So your bank accounts were debited and all that. Then when I moved, I said, okay, why only for holders? Then we created what is called the wallets today. We created that wallet. So okay, anybody with a phone, open this account. The phone number is your account number. However, the only way you can fund that account is either through your first advantage bank account or you bring cash to the bank. So we created the first wallet again in Nigeria, so to say, the first digital mobile-based wallet in Nigeria. So Flashback Cash came.
And then not only did you create that, you created first now everybody's saying your phone number is your account number.
Yeah.
That was actually when
we were doing that 25 years ago.
Hey, imagine.
And it became so popular, everybody was buying airtime. And we're getting so large commissions and bonuses and awards from all the telcos.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did an advert, which I think took it to the next level. And we published the advert in papers and all that. And it was a parrot talking, just to catch attention.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, your airtime could cost you money. That means you're buying airtime, you're paying out of pockets. But also, airtime can make you money. Okay. For more information, call this number. And I put my phone number. 24/7 just went gaga. It just went gaga.
Because you told people they could make
Yes. I guess for them just try and see what happened. But it actually went gaga. From all over the country, from the north, from the east, west, anybody was calling, wants to know how to make money with that. I would just say, look for the nearest First Atlantic Bank, and you get more information. Open your account this way, and it was simple by using SMS. Say, send SMS to in this other account number, phone number, blah, and your account is opened. And then if you have a bank account with First Atlantic Bank, this is how to fund it. You type fund, account number, this, and your Flashback Cash account or wallet to be funded. If you have an account, then you go to the bank, and usually when you get to the bank, we'll try and convert you. Like you don't have to come back the next time. Just open an account and things will be okay.
So you did two things. It was customer acquisition.
Yeah.
And then you were taking people out of the traditional ways of going into the banking hall.
Yes.
So that was like the first SMS banking.
Correct. And we're also making a lot of entrepreneurs. And I'll give you another example. Bolaji Akinde, she was a newcomer then, and she saw that advert and she was in worry that time, I remember. And she called and she said that she wanted to be a vendor. I was like, okay, this had to register. So out of our big commissions, we're also giving them commissions. And what she was in, she bought a car.
From
selling airtime. And she was so excited. She called us again. I said, okay, but what are you doing after you service? I'm not sure. Okay, let's employ. So she became our first Flashback Cash ambassador. That's what we call them. Our salespeople, we call them Flashback Cash ambassadors. We then launched the ambassador program, and just salespeople teach people how to sell airtime and how to make money from selling airtime. And so it was all about the country. Everybody was buying and selling airtime with digital way. And we looked again, okay, what next? People are buying airtime, they have accounts, they are moving money between themselves. I would created, a full-blown money transfer, P2P payment and product. That was in now 2002. We created that first P2P product. And it was now Flashback Cash. You can buy airtime, you can transfer money to anybody, and this and that. And just took off. People on the chat trading was sending money to Kano. It was the beginning of cashless.
And I remember that's when it exploded.
Yeah.
Because that's when a lot of us like, what's happening? What's this First Atlantic Bank? You can send money to me, I can send money to you, and it was
through the phone.
Yes.
And then we took it to the universities.
Yes.
We started creating the flash downs, events, and things like that over to universities, and gather students and send our ambassadors, Flashback Cash ambassadors. You can do this, you can do that, and we earn commission. So we are then making extra money while they're at campus, and that's what also boosted it amongst them.
I'm one of those people in the university.
Okay.
Because that's when we heard.
Yeah.
So I didn't even realize you had done airtime for a long time, because my first encounter with Flashback Cash was transfers.
Yeah, because parents could transfer money to their kids.
That's all we needed.
And all that.
Sorry.
The USs were a big booster for us, yeah. By 2003, 2004, I think we reached 300,000 customers, Flashback Cash.
Just on Flash Me Cash alone. So this was not just retail.
Retail. Anybody who had a phone then was always trying to utilize the product. Even though they couldn't have phones, we had to create a product for them where they could get a voucher and go and cash it. So you get a voucher, I go to the bank to cash it, and then we started creating merchants where you cash out the code from.
And that was not agency banking.
That's
Without calling it agency.
exactly. And then we started trying to see, okay, what else can we do? As products start to get provenance, there'll be some fraud and things, and people will start to say, okay, I can make it more secure. The PIL is exposed, or the SMS, watching the SMS is interrupted. But what we found out most of the fraud cases were actually cases of either your relative or somebody picking up your phone and seeing your exposed PIN, and then you using your phone to do a transaction and things like that. So through education, we try to minimize that, and that was done well. And then we started seeing, okay, as technologies improved, we also created a Java version for Symbian phones. Again, Symbian phones were operating systems that before Apple and Android, and they had a Java interface that looked a bit better than just an SMS, and that was a bit more secure. And we also explored USSD at that time. I'm actually in Clickatel. Clickatel wasn't like, well, they were based in South Africa, but they were trying to enter the Nigerian market also at that time. They didn't come back till about 10 years later.
Yes.
And their first protocol was
you, because they had worked with you before.
Yeah. So the SMS did not. The USSD did not work at that time, not because the technology was not available, but because the telcos were not ready. The telcos were more or less trying to get the hang of data and SMS and voice calls, and they were not even looking at USSD at all. So we stopped and we just focused on Java. Java was not too successful because of the means of downloading to your phone. I think most people, they like simple things. Java was a bit complex. We always follow the telcos. So what the telcos said, you could use airtime and send to another phone. So we said, can we turn airtime to cash? So we worked with Airtel. There are about 4 names in between.
I think it was Econet, and then it was Celtel.
Econet, Celtel.
Then Zane.
And Zane. I think it was Zane we worked with on that.
Okay.
And what we did was we started to accumulate airtime. So anybody have airtime that I need cash, give us the airtime, we give you cash. Again, because we were partners and resellers, we didn't care accumulating airtime. So they transfer airtime to us. We'll give you the cash, and then we got to resell.
How did you navigate CBN with this?
CBN didn't understand what was going on. Exactly. They didn't understand what was going on at that time. Most of the time, regulators were catching up. We're just being geeky sales, big creative and all that. And so was giving people cash for airtime, reselling the airtime, and then we're just balancing it up with the commissions we are making, and we're still making money, but we're bringing lots of people onto the platform just by being able to collect their airtime and give them cash. And but with this stop, it just fizzled out after a while. It wasn't too much interesting again, and we're not making much money from it anymore as at the beginning. So just fizzled out. Then DSTV came calling. That was R06 as well. They said that we'll make payments, use some Flash Me Cash. Sure, we can. With anybody that wants we can do it.
We can do it.
And we're doing it. Collections for Lagos State, but we're doing it. Everything we're doing. And couple of weeks, we'll have a platform on DSTV where you could make payments.
Couple of weeks.
Yeah. Wow. Everything was, we had young agile people, Edu, Ife, Femi. They were all there, and everything that came out, everybody was so excited to try it out. And we're just rolling out things just for the fun of rolling out things. They didn't work. Okay, he's working, let's move it forward, let's make some money. He didn't work. Okay, let's put this aside. We even tried auctions and so many things. And FCNB has the source code to pay. I don't know if they look into it. They'll see that there are a lot of things that have to be launched. That's a lot of Flash Me Cash.
Wow. Please, can I have that source code?
We talked to SCMB. But so DSTV came and we created a flash card as a money transfer card.
Okay.
And a way of making deposits into your wallet without going to a bank branch. So the flash card, it was just an airtime kind of card. But instead of that code being airtime, that code was cash. So we sold this code through agents, different areas of the country. You buy a flash card, and when you buy that flash card, when you scratch it up, there's a code. And you just say fund, the code, and your mobile number. And your mobile number is credited with the cash. If you didn't have a wallet before, it will create your wallet for you and deposit the money there. And you can start using flash cash immediately. That's when DSTV kept calling. These flashcards can we use to pay for DSTV? We said yes, we can.
Bring it, we can do
We can do it. Because go ahead. And again, the head of their payments, Corey Baker, I still saw in Accra a couple of weeks back. Corey Baker. And we said, cool, I would deliver it for Nigeria. So flashcard, we had this, you now had DSTV cards, which you could use to pay for your bouquet. And it was sold in all DSTV outlets in Nigeria. And we're selling through agents, we're digital natural agents. And that grew. And he said, can you come to Ghana? I said, yes, but I'm not to Ghana.
Was First Atlantic in Ghana?
No. We created a company called First Atlantic Online in Ghana just to get the DSM Ghana deal. And we ran that for about 3 years. We're just doing airtime. We're trying to get other companies, like insurance companies and all that, start doing things. But so in Ghana, you need more decision time. Unfortunately, around that time was when there was bank consolidation and things were like that, going like that, and lots of mergers.
Yes.
And so, as the mergers were going on, First Abati became FCNP, lots of interest were even lost, especially because people are trying to focus back and then just getting it on their feet and all that. So there was not much sponsorship for Atlantic Online in Ghana again, so we had to close that down after a while. And then it was around now, fast forward around 2010, 2011,
Yes.
the structural band was coming up again as saying, we had to do things better. We had to start in ways that will performance like crucial, digital banking and all that. But I said, okay, things are happening back in the banking space. Do I want to come back? Okay, so yes, I will come back. So the term was a very short one. I just waited and after a while, yeah, you can tell this one you'll do and this one you'll do. So I started the e-payments group.
Yes.
We tried to do as many things as I mean, but the team we get the privilege of building a team fast. I mean, resources were put into big payments. I would say that's one thing I've been lucky with everywhere I work. So I don't know, but I've been getting, as I say, it's doing more because resources were pumped for flash cash. Something out of the deal that didn't make sense, but the bank resources were pushed into it and it became a success. EPA was just started and then resources were put there to kick it off.
Yeah.
Other places, let's see what you can make first before few resources. But resources were put there and so much support, executive support. And we started with PSs. PSs was a real job. CBA was given so much pressure. We had to report how many priests were deployed.
Yes.
And all that. And
people didn't really understand the USSD.
They can understand PSs, but we just have to give people PSs.
Yes.
Prime level PSs, we have to teach them, we have to support them, go around. It was, but I'll say, the hindsight, that was the necessary hurdle to cross.
It was a real journey and was a jungle.
Yeah.
That learning curve was a lot. And CBN was not patient enough to.
They were hammering everybody, almost sanctioning people for not deploying not PSs. And then came mobile money. Again, another drive towards financial inclusion. And the way it went, the mobile money was, okay, let's create our apps and also let's create our USSD head home. The first part was who's supposed to deploy? Is it telcos
Or is it the bank?
or is it the banks? Telcos were going to take over, but CBN and the banks calm them down, and then they will calm them down, and then, and then the banks had the upper hand, and the ones crazy and mobile money companies and things like that. But the first versions will be you saw them
That's GT Mobile, right?
the GTBank, but we're a bit late. I think it was so kind of exciting. The EBS, the first bank, I come out with with the USS menu, and SIM toolkit was out of it because you had to collaborate with the telco. So the popular thing was the USSD menu where you dial start something, and the whole menu comes up, and then select this, select that. It was a bit the bank commercial. When I saw this, I said, no way, nobody do it this way. That we know these things and we know how to go about it. I said, okay.
Because you had tried the first thing a few years ago with Cartel.
But it was a
Flash Maker.
It was a flash cash.
Yeah.
So we said that, okay, we'll do the same thing with flash cash.
Make it seamless.
Flash cash. We'll make it seamless. Why do you have to go through 4 or 5 steps before you buy airtime or before you send money? Because what the UBAs had that time was it does start something. It now says what do I do? Transfer money. So you have about 4 steps before you can actually send money. Right? So we committed to 1 step. And so we created a USSD strings just by dialing the strings, *737, *this, *that. What we're doing actually is we're decoding what was behind the money. So you type it once and you get your result. And that's how
Star 737.
that's how Star 737 works. We had the menu, but we didn't use the menu at all. We had this faster way available the string.
I think it was Star 737 star
500 to
500 to buy airtime. Star 737 star 1000 to buy airtime.
Yeah.
Then Star 737 star account number or something like that. Star amount to send money.
And if it's another bank, star 2
That's
star 1 was one account in the same bank, star 2 was outside. And it became so popular. After about 2 years of using Flash Cash.
I'm using 737. That's what I do.
It's not even Flash Cash. Well, I was using 737 CBank Rocket. Hello guys.
What are you doing?
What exactly are you doing? Can you come and explain to us what we are doing? So we had to fly to Abuja and present to the payment systems team what we were doing, researching more and this team. And in the presentation, we showed them the numbers. They couldn't believe the numbers. We started to separate our time. And we showed them what we still went to. And they all confessed they used Flash Cash. However, there were some customer issues. They felt that they like the index address, and that's when I said we should come. We used the analogy of Visa and MasterCard when you track trackers and all that. They make so much money that they have put some money aside to take care of them before I done that. I went to the next, see, in all that we've done, we can see the numbers have been pushed out. You can even take the profits we're making, but even from the profits we're making, the fraud losses is not up to 0.1% it's at all. And we've given all customers a guarantee that in a left order, they will refund you. And what we also found out was that the frauds that happen again is the close person with you who has picked up your phone and also has a card. That's when we are now bringing up new policies allowed to factor rollers. We looked at it. Well, I can say it now, but when CBA said, okay, you want to do this next month, no, said no, that we need about a year to do it. Because if we do that, give that kind of shock treatment to that product to reduce the rate of growth.
Absolutely.
And we didn't want to lose that rate of growth.
You want to increase that momentum.
Yeah. So to do that, we did a year to perfect this, and they preciously got it as like
even though you could do it in 1 month.
Yeah. They didn't know that's that. But and the girls started that 1 year to do it.
And I think it was good for the banking industry as a whole, because people, I remember then Shen will say, your job is to ensure, you tell us that your job is to ensure that people don't come into the market. Because I want to now take you back to SMS and now financial inclusion with USSD. These days, we see fintechs and everybody trying to build the same thing. Everybody is building an app. Everybody is, but the app, when they launch, you say, oh, we built app. What are you doing with the app? We're doing airtime. We're doing transfers. But let's be honest, that still does not solve the actual inclusion there. But when I hear you speak on the simplicity of flashing cash with SMS banking, and we all know what has happened now with USSD, banks can't cope, the cost is high. How do we solve financial inclusion?
Honestly, it has to be simple. Like you said, SMS. People think that SMS, okay, but why not SMS? I don't know. Is it SMS? I'm not sure. It is something else. But if it's because the people trying to reach don't have the capacity of onboarding complex things, how can you make it simple for them?
And the money is there. So this money that everybody is chasing within this 7 million is there in the 100 million.
But in what form? Because from what I've seen through different experiences and then other different agencies along that I worked with, I now start to ask myself the question, do the financially excluded want to be included? We're assuming.
Well,
I don't have the answer yet, but it's a question and I think we should explore. Do the financially excluded want to be included? Or are we just wasting our time?
That's interesting, because sometimes we think they want to be included, but they're probably just comfortable with their cash. Sometimes they don't even want to be included because, one, they probably do not understand what this is all about. Again, simplicity is not simple. Two, they want to be in control of all their cash, in my opinion. But it would be good to understand. I don't think anybody has done that survey.
I think it should be done. Also, something is, do we really know what they want? Do we know what they want? Well, I'm just selling them the wrong products. That's why they thought the blind hide and cynic. I don't care. Because if you look at some Ponzi schemes, the way they have grown and crashed.
Tell me.
They grow so fast. Yeah. Within a year, they've grown bigger than banks. And people, where did they get the money from? But they bring their money into those schemes and they get defrauded.
These financially excluded people.
Yes, most of them are the financially excluded. So is it that we have not told them the right story? And the people that are telling them what they have want to hear about this fraudulence, they collect their money and most times within a year it crashes. But the rate of growth of that campaign makes us wonder, we're not telling them what they want to hear.
It's true.
We should tell them more. We shouldn't tell them a fraudulent story, but we should tell them what they want to hear. Let's find out what they want to hear.
That's really true. And then this now causes, it makes it even worse, because they've now been defrauded, and it makes them now say, you know what? Maybe it was better for me to keep my money.
Exactly. All this digital is now working.
All this digital is.
So there's more apathy. I mean, we now need to start. Instead of ground zero, we're starting from ground -50. Because they lost confidence in the system. But they were in the wrong system.
One thing I hear you say as you went through your journey was also the fact that it wasn't all the products that you built that were successful. But what I heard you say was you shut it down and you moved on. A lot of times when I speak to fintech founders and I speak to people who create products, and even banks suffer from this, because they spent a lot of time building a product or building a service. They want to know it must work. No, let's find a way to make it work.
Put more resources, put more effort, put more time, and we get the same results.
How were you able to create that detachment? Because I think one or two people listening may want to understand, because people put their life, especially when you're a fintech, you've put your life, you've committed, you see fintechs closing down, shutting down, but you will know that this business idea failed in month 3. But they try to keep it moving 2 years down the line, maybe we need to raise more money. So what do you think is the issue? How are we able to do it, and what advice?
I think the major thing to look at is what's your reason for doing what you want to do. And I feel that the reason for doing what you want to do is because of the customer you're selling to. You are helping that customer solve a problem. You are meeting that customer's need at a point in time. And therefore, you have to feel the customer's pulse. Is he happy? Is he interacting with you? Is he giving you feedback? And that will let you know if you need to put more effort to meet his needs, or you need to withdraw or think of something else that will make him happy.
So think customer.
He's always a customer.
So are we, when we build, listening to our customers? I remember when I started to build products as well, it struck me that you can create a product, but your customer will use it in a way that you didn't even plan.
Correct.
That was the way that we use the product. But a good product is a good product when it solves a problem.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people build products because they feel that product is right, not because they are solving problems.
Yeah.
It's been really lovely talking to you. I've had a good history lesson on how
You forgot some memories.
I know.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much people like you still have to give to the industry in terms of advisory, in terms of industry knowledge, in terms of innovation on how to do things. So if you would give in a minute just an advice to someone thinking of building a fintech, what would that be as we round up?
My only question is, what problem are you solving? What problem are you solving? I mean, if you can, in the same 1 minute, tell me what problem you're solving, I think you have a good chance of succeeding. But you really have to be able to know what you're doing, and not, again, forget the fanfare and forget all the hype and all that, but genuinely within yourself, what problem are you solving or intend to solve? If you're not passionate about that problem you're solving, I don't think you're going to go far, or you go far but crash.
That's amazing. You go far but crash, which is art. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Any last words from you?
Well, my last word to be around it. Thank you for pulling me out here.
Yes. You don't like to come out. In fact, when I spoke to you, I was like, I hope Deji will respond to me, because it's the first time you've actually had to tell your story.
Lots of people have had telling me, asking me to tell the story, writing book, writing birth, writing article and all that. But limelight is not too.
It's not you.
It's not me. It's like do what I do. I'm just happy doing what I do. That's all. That's the joy. That's it. And the major joy is I was simple, enjoying what I do. I mean, the lives I've impacted, and I buy a product or whatever. I just think, okay, what if we didn't do this? That's my joy.
And you have created a huge impact in the Nigerian banking industry, and I want to thank you. I've been one of the people who have benefited from your knowledge and from your wisdom and from just the quiet leadership that you give. And I think it shaped even the way I started to look at leadership. So thank you so much, Zito. Thank you for spending this afternoon with us.
Yeah, that's pleasure.
So we're speaking with Deji. Thank you for listening, and we hope you've gotten some nuggets from this session today. Like Deji said, please reach out to him. I'm sure they can reach out to you on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
So please send him a DM. There are a lot of products from where Flash Me Cash and 737 came forward in his head. So please, if you're a fintech, I think you can reach out to him. Give him an elevator pitch. Tell him what you want to solve, and be assured that you could just be the next big thing. Thank you so much for being with us on Made in Payments. Till we come to your screens again, thank you and bye.